Hello, welcome to another episode of Tom's Gaming World. So, what's new in my gaming world this time? Well, I've been pretty into the Dreamcast as of late, and I picked up a few more games for the Dreamcast, so let's take a look at them. So, what do we spy that's new here from last time? Well, there's definitely a few more games on the shelf. A little bit of a rejig. But yeah, I think the most obvious one here, straight away, would be Power Stone. Japanese copy, of course, as are all of these new ones. Sega GT. Lovely. Sega Rally 2. There's quite a few since we last did a video, isn't there? Speed Devils. Unfortunately, that case arrived cracked. No wonder the seller didn't show the cover of the game in the photos. Anyway, lastly, it's from the same seller actually. It was lovely cracks in the case. It's Sonic Adventure. Okay, so I think that's all for the import Dreamcast games. But if we go down here, we've got a little shelf here for for PAL Dreamcast games. And I think the only one here, well actually no, there's two. There's Roadsters. Oh, I'm too zoomed in. Roadsters, which is pretty much a by the numbers racing game, pretty basic. Okay, but yeah, very sort of nothing special, shall I say, about that one. V-Rally 2, on the other hand, I finally have a working copy. Oh, but look at the case. So I thought I'd tell you the story of V-Rally 2 and also show you some footage of it. But basically, I bought this game a while back. I heard it was very good. V-Rally. Okay, so I bought this off eBay. Unfortunately, the disc didn't work. I told this to the seller. They said, "Oh, really sorry about that. I'll refund you. Keep the disc." Obviously, it doesn't work, so it's no use to anyone. Right, fair dues. Okay, done that. So I thought, well, what should I do? Should I buy another copy of V-Rally? I don't know why I'm calling it Virtua Rally. What does the V stand for? Probably virtual, not virtua. But okay, so here's the other copy. So now we have two copies of V-Rally. So this copy arrived and didn't work. And on inspection, of course all these cases are broken, as any Dreamcast game that goes through transit really needs to be packaged in a very particular way in order for it to work. So this, you won't probably be able to see it on the camera. Oh, but maybe you can. See that scratch there? That stops it from playing, and pretty confident about that because you know, I've been playing video games, disc-based video games, for a number of years, and I seem to have a good idea when something's going to work and doesn't work. So looking at that disc, I thought that's not going to work, and lo and behold, it didn't work. However, the seller told me it worked on his Dreamcast. So wasn't willing to refund me on this particular game. Well, he was willing. Sorry, that's totally unfair to say. He was willing to refund me, providing I send the game back. This was at the time. This was April, early April. So this was at the time when COVID-19 was pretty dominant. So I didn't really feel it a necessary reason to get out there, because for me, if I don't have a car or anything, so if I'm going out to the post office, for one, the nearest post office to me is quite far away, and also I'd have to use quite a bit of public transport to get there. So I said, nah, I can't really do that. He said, well, I can do you £3 partial refund that you can go to game when else is over, and then get the disc cleaned up. And I thought, well, not the best, but I stuck with the idea that I would eventually, after all this, die down, which hasn't really died down. So I decided I didn't really still feel the urge to send this back. So yeah, so that left me a bit out of pocket. Still, I kept going, didn't I? And here's another copy of it. So this one works, and I'm going to show you the game. But yeah, it arrived damaged. So this was actually apparently in very good condition before it got sent out, and sent through Packlink by Hermes, and the seller very graciously gave me. I asked for a partial refund on it because of the cracked case. I asked for. Game cost me £9.50. I asked for £4 partial refund on this. The postage was like £2.50, so you know I thought it was a fairly reasonable amount, and yeah, the seller went with that, but he still wanted to get his money back on the postage, at least from Hermes through Packlink. I've just been informed that they've accepted that this cracked case was their fault, and now he should hopefully be getting some money back and send a few photos of the packaging and the game case. So to see that all together, this is probably the most damaged box and the newest one I've got. However, actually what's not damaged is the hinges of the cover. But there are 3 copies of V-Rally. 3 copies later, I finally have a working version of it. And let's take a look at that, shall we? So here we are, V-Rally 2 Expert Edition for the Sega Dreamcast. Finally, we have a working copy of it. I hope you can see it alright. Again, I'm having to record the screen as opposed to capturing this footage because oh, it's on time trial. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're just going to show you what it looks like. Okay. So let's do this. Yeah, filming off the screen because yeah, I can't get it. Even though it is running off HDMI, I can't get the capture device to recognise it. However, nice looking game. As you see, colours are a little bit brighter, lighter in person. But this game is fast. Look at this. It looks nice and it's fast. And I'm very happy. I like the way it handles. I haven't always been a fan of V-Rally actually. I remember playing the original N64 version and struggling with the handling quite a lot, but this I think is wonderful. Plays very, very well, and it is a good rally game that I can totally recommend for the system if you've it's a bit more fully featured than Sega Rally. It's not well, Sega Rally is an arcade game, so you know there's checkpoints, there's time limits. There is a little bit more to Sega Rally 2 and the Dreamcast, but this is a little bit more fully featured than that. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. You know, the worst thing that could have happened is after 3 copies of the game that I finally got to play it, and it wasn't as good as I was expecting. So it is actually as good as I would have expected. So there we have it. That's a V-Rally 2 Expert Edition for the Sega Dreamcast. Well worth picking up if you're a rally fan. I just hope you have a little bit better luck with it than I have if you buy it obviously on the second-hand market. I'm sure you will. I'm sure my case is somewhat isolated. But yeah, this is a hard game to stop playing because it is endlessly playable. Okay, just as a side note to the V-Rally saga, I did actually get that £3 partial refund back off the second seller for the second copy of the game, and coupled with the £4 partial refund from the third copy of the game, that was £7 off what I'd spent overall on copies of V-Rally 2. So I can confirm that one working copy of V-Rally 2 eventually cost me about £15. So I've seen them going for around that on eBay before. Maybe you should be able to get for a little bit less than that, but at least I didn't pay too over the odds to get it in the end. But there you go. Maybe I can get that second copy fixed up. I don't know, but is it really worth it at this point? No, probably not. Flatout Ultimate Carnage. So yeah, I think what happened about why I picked this one up is I saw Flatout 4 advertised on the PlayStation store for a very reasonable £5 or something like that. And I was curious because it looked fun. Read a few reviews. The particular review I watched highlighted how good this particular instalment in the series is. This is actually an updated, enhanced version of Flatout 2. So yeah, this is probably the ultimate Flatout game to get if you're going to get any one of them. I do have the original Flatout on Xbox, which I played a little bit. That was so long ago though. I was eager to try this one out, so for a very affordable, I think it's just under £3 posted this off eBay. So yeah, is it any good? Let's take a look at it. Flatout Ultimate Carnage is a racing game that's heavy on smashing and crashing and bashing, and it's pretty wild. It does have a mechanic where the driver can fly through the windshield of the car should you crash hard enough. I've not seen that yet, but it's one of those unique selling points of the franchise. What's also unique is overall the physics and the amounts of elements, debris that can end up on the track, and that actually becomes a hazard in itself. You do have to be aware of your surroundings and aware how they might impact on you actually getting through the track. So far, the tracks haven't had a lot of variety in what I've played of it, but enough, you know. Overall presentation also reminds me of Burnout Revenge, strangely enough. Very similar in terms of its look to that game. It doesn't handle the same though. I think the handling of Burnout is still preferable for me. This is a little bit... Turning sometimes just goes a bit wrong for me in this game. I'm starting to adjust to it, but it is a little bit different. So I'd say that the handling isn't as satisfying as Burnout, but the graphics are great, presentation's great, the music's very fitting, quite angry. It's a good sort of soundtrack for this this kind of game. Also, it's got a bit of personality in that you're racing against named characters which appear on screen when you're behind that character. So you can smash into these drivers and eventually you can deplete their vehicle's health bar, therefore exiting them from the race. I haven't done that yet, but I have been crashing and bashing a fair amount in Flatout Ultimate Carnage, which is, I'd say, pretty accessible to most. If you like driving games and you want to play something really wild, really crazy, maybe you like Destruction Derby on the PS1, going back as far as that. If you like that sort of thing, then this is definitely going to scratch that sort of itch for you. But even if you just like racing games, like Burnout, I think this is actually is worth it. One thing that I could maybe criticise is I don't get the boost up enough for me. I'd like more boost. You get given boost power quite sparingly, so maybe I'm not filling the right criteria in order to get that boost. But I find that's the ability to boost is few and far between in this game. So hopefully the more I play it, the more I'll understand about it. But very good first impressions and a very affordable game if it sounds like something you might be interested in. Okay, so moving on to Mega Drive pickup. I've had for a little while now, but we're featuring it this week. This is the Smurfs for the Mega Drive, and I'm starting to get good at this. But one thing you've got to know about this game, and it should say it on the back, I think what sums this game up best is everything is out to kill you. You can hardly move forward for fear of something that's out to get you. Whether that be a falling tomato, some dirt, some water, a Smurf. The first level introduces you to the kind of gameplay you can expect to experience in the Smurfs for Mega Drive, which is slowly inching your way forward, wondering what next thing's out to kill you. It is not a platformer where you can just hold right and move. It's not Sonic the Hedgehog by any means. It's a very slow, methodical platform game where you really have to be aware of your surroundings, and that is immediately apparent in that first mission. I do find though the more you play it, the more you adapt to it. You have to sort of learn this game, and you have to know where the hazards are going to appear. So it's only really through trial and error that you'll get anywhere basically with the Smurfs. This is quite different from the Master System version, which is a lot more accessible and easier to pick up and play. This has lovely graphics though, and a very particular type of gameplay that is growing on me. Yeah, when I was capturing footage for this, I got the furthest I'd ever got. I managed to make it up to the top of the tree at the end of the forest stage. So I was pretty proud of myself when I did that. So it's a very satisfying game when you actually put the time in to get good at it. Yeah, I could recommend this game. I can recommend this game, but don't expect a walk in the park unless it's a very dangerous park. So that's the Smurfs for Mega Drive. I'm not going to show you any footage of this game because I haven't played any of it, but it's Yakuza Remastered Collection for the PS4. I finally bit the bullet and picked this up knowing that one day I'll get up to Yakuza 3, which is the first of 3 games featured on this compilation. 3 and 4 on one disc and 5 on the other disc. What I mainly bought this for was to have a playable copy of 5, because I've got 3 and 4 on the PS3, but 5 was never released physically outside of Japan. However, it was a PlayStation Plus free game back in the day, and I did pick that up when it was free. However, I've never had the hard drive space to install it, and it would mean deleting a lot off my PS3 hard drive. And I kind of like what I've got on there now. I don't want to go deleting stuff, so I decided that this was probably the best way to play 5. When I got up to that, I'm on 0 at the moment, so I'm not even at 1. I'm playing through 0, and what I've seen of that game and how long it is, it's about 30 odd hours long, so yeah, it's going to be a long time till I actually end up playing this game, but I have it now because I've noticed that copies of this are getting expensive and not always very readily available. I got this off Argos for a discounted price. It was around the £30 mark, but I've seen prices creeping up for this. This is just a standard edition. There was a special edition which came with an empty case for Yakuza 5 if you wanted to display that as part of your Yakuza PS3 collection. But yeah, happy to have it, but we'll wait for another day to talk more about Yakuza. But that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I haven't rambled on too much. I do still enjoy doing these, and of course if I do have anything to share, I like to share that with you guys. So thanks again for watching, and apologies for the constant planes going by, but that is where I live, unfortunately. It'd be very difficult to sort of time this so there's no planes, I think. But anyway, enough of that. Thanks for watching, and until next time, game on.